Well, Monte, I know we did one of these. I'm happy to have you back, even though some technical glitch led to the first one being destroyed. No evidence of
Oh,
it exists anywhere.
oh
Um,
man,
but
you're the best for the best.
our second chat
Yeah,
here together, and the first chat that will be visible to the rest of the league. So
awesome.
happy that you can take a few minutes out of the day. How are things in the Bay?
Bay's great. We had one of the coldest Julys like ever, and the Bay Area is kind of usually cold in July, but it was
Yeah.
the coldest one since the '80s. So, but aside from that,
Okay.
things are great. I kind of like
Yeah.
it. I grew up in Houston, so this alternative summer is kind of refreshing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I love the weather up there. I just want to jump into the first thing looking over your team. I have my own thoughts, but I wanted to get your thoughts to start. What's the state of the franchise for
Of
you right
trust
now?
the BBB. We don't
Yeah.
really have the trust the process part really right now going, and we don't have the big baller brand part. So it's kind of my team name is not living up to the prophecy. But
Mm-hmm.
said it's like at this time of year, every season in the off season, I like look at my roster and I do get excited, right? Because like on paper, it's a roster that looks pretty fun. But I still have that optimism. I think this is kind of the last make or break year for trust the process. Some would argue we're past that point, but with somebody as explosive as Embiid, you kind of gotta
Yeah.
ride it till the end. And then my waiting in the wings, who I'm super excited about, is Ivica Zubac. I think that's how you say his first name. Love
Mm-hmm.
love what he did for me last season. You could argue he was my MVP. So dependable with just like boards and double doubles and some blocks here and there. So he's my favorite.
Okay.
He's my guy on the roster right now, who I'm super excited about. Um,
That's cool.
I still have a soft spot for Lamelo, and when he plays, he does produce. So if he can just be consistent in the roster this year, Donovan had a good year last year just overall, but I don't think it was his best fantasy year for me because they had more of a balanced offense last season in Cleveland. But Donovan is still such an explosive player that is exciting. And then we got Devin Booker. So like I don't know, I'm guard heavy. I have some of these big men waiting in the wings. I'm excited for Klingon to step up. I think this year, I think he's going to have a good year. I think Portland is going to be kind of one of those at least sneaky, like fun to watch teams. And who knows, I think production too. If
Yeah.
the second half of last season isn't an aberration, which it could be, but yeah, I mean, you look at my roster, I feel like I feel like the team
Can you
is
see
better.
this?
Huh? I can see it.
Can you see this? Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing
Yeah,
it. Can you,
cool.
yeah, I was looking at it on
Yeah,
my
I just wanted
phone.
to yeah. So rankings there on the left are like the dynasty where today stands. Like if you
Uh-huh.
were to draft today, what they would say would be your most valuable player or what
Hmm.
in order they would be.
Hmm.
And then you got the age bracket there where you can see. So the ninth oldest team in the league, it's second to the oldest. Victor, I think,
Hmm.
is the oldest. So one of my things I was gonna. I mean, I hear you saying, "Hey, I'm still optimistic." I feel like and on paper, I agree with you. You have a lot of people in the top 50. I think you have the second most top 50 players according to this ranking, and
Nice.
you're in the top half in terms of top 100. When I was looking at it, I'm like, is this a win, try and go all in this season, next season type situation where maybe you try and acquire? I mean, because, I see that red Embiid 31.4, and I don't think he's going anywhere. He's in his prime, I would say, probably. Or
Ooh.
do you think he's a little past prime?
I mean, just because of he's such a health
Injuries?
question. I would
Yeah.
say, and big men don't age well. So him being 31 with the health issues we know of already, I would say he's past his prime. I think he can still pull in some huge games here and there, but
Hmm.
I do think I could roll with Zubac as kind of like my feature center, and just whatever I get from Embiid, I get. Um,
Yeah.
that's kind of a hard thing to say, and I don't want to. give away too much, I guess, of what I think of his value in case I need to look
Yeah,
into a
yeah.
trade, right?
Keep it close to the chest. You're on the stage here. Embiid's value is at an all-time high.
Is it? I mean, hey, his
Is it
his
though?
ceiling is still legendary when he wants to get into it.
Totally.
But
Didn't he have like 100 for you in a game? I mean, I
yes,
I remember there was just a monster that he
I
had
can't
one time.
remember
Like
if
it
I
was like in the
started
last
him.
year or two.
I can't remember if I started him that game, but he did put up a 100-point fantasy game. Um, so yeah, I do like my roster. It's just a matter of I feel like all in for me is to try to make the playoffs and win around. I'd be kind
Yeah.
of hard pressed to see what I can do to get there. Not saying I can't, but it would take some creative and maybe some risks. But
Totally.
I have hopes to make the playoffs again, right? And build on I guess the piecing together of some success last
Yeah.
season.
Like when I was looking at it, I was like, damn, like you've been a extremely like 500 end of season record. Like you've had these weird streaks where you open the season, something with you in opening the seasons, these like 0 and 4, 0 and 5 to start the season, and then you rally back and kind of come in late. You know, you started 0 and 5 one year, I think in I don't know, 2, 3 years ago, and then
Yeah,
you kind of closed out really strong, made the playoffs, lost in the first round to Zan on his way to a championship.
yeah.
But last year was your first above 500 finish,
Wow.
and you made the playoffs. I don't think you got out of the first round.
I did.
Yeah, you lost to Miami. But again, 10-9. But you didn't have the shitty open. You only lost the first two instead of like the first four or whatever. So that was an upgrade. But I do feel like you're actually trending upward more so. And that's why I was kind of like curious when I was looking at this roster. Your guards are strong. Center's a big question mark. I was thinking like, if I was in your position, like how would I look at this roster? Would I consider moving Embiid and try and get two pieces that have massive upside, but maybe, or more I don't know, picks and pieces, but try moving him or moving. I mean, Klingon, you have to be excited about, I would think, right?
Yes, I'm excited. With him. To backtrack a little bit, when you put those stats out there about the beginning of my season, it's very interesting
Hmm.
because when our season starts, fantasy wise, I'm still in my I'm a football devotee. Don't get me wrong, I love the
Same.
the league too, but
I'm.
my headspace is still so
Yeah.
much in like NFL and fantasy. Maybe that's like
Yeah.
literally
NBA starts in like March for
yeah,
me.
it's like
I'm in the
affecting
same. I feel the same.
it's affecting my performance though. I need to multitask, you know? I
Yeah.
need to start better.
Well, our fantasy football league is in sleeper, so
Yeah.
I just like kind of click over and I'm
Okay.
already there. So that
Nice.
is beneficial.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think getting stronger out the gate for sure could be great. I think even if you were, and I'm just hypothesizing, I'm not saying you should trade Embiid. I'm not saying anything, but I do think you could get younger quicker
Yes.
by moving a big piece, bringing in a couple of younger guys that have huge potential and maybe even a pick. If Embiid ends up on a roster, like to me, again, I'm not trying to stir the pot here, but Victor's team is old. Your team is old. If
Also,
one of you pushed a piece over to the other, you could then I think really make noise in that top. Like we were talking about the top four being kind of like Fergs, myself,
mhm.
Javi,
Yep.
and Victor. I feel like Victor is terrifying, and I said that to him when he was on. I'm like, yo, your team is when they're hot, they're like, I don't think they're beatable because there's just too many of them. It's like Cat, Brunson, LeBron, and Wemby.
Yeah.
But I've been saying this to Victor for a number of years. Like, you should think about moving LeBron and getting a bunch for him and rebuilding quicker. But you guys seem like interesting trade partners, I would say.
I am overly tied, I think, to a mix of like 5 or 6 guys that I started with from when this league began, right? And I'm overly sentimental, I think, to some of those guys. And then
Loyal.
yeah, I'm loyal for better or worse. That's not necessarily the best
I
thing. And
respect
then
that. I'm the same way. I feel like, and I want to root for the guys. I don't know. Do you have a tie to
it's
rooting for
it's
MB?
more
Do you,
it's
do
more
you,
of a thing like, and I also apply this to like Jamal Murray. Like
Mm.
I just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Like Murray will have some duds of a game. Like for a guy who is maybe supposedly a star, perimeter player, he has some terrible games fantasy wise, right?
Yeah.
And then just when you're ready to give up, he explodes. And he
Yeah.
has that. So he's really more Jekyll and Hyde, I think, than he lets on. And so that is also, I think, the underrated, not in a good way, thing about my squad. Like I have him starting all the time, and for a guy who I think and maybe I see as one of my best players, he's kind of more of a up and down guy. So
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think, and then that combined with the hard facts that you're hitting me with like me being the second oldest team, I suspected I was kind of towards the higher end, but I didn't realize I was that old. My team's getting older quickly.
And this is what is fun about, I don't know how you play in football, but we play redraft every year. And this is
Hmm.
the only dynasty thing that I do.
Hmm.
And I fucking love it. Like, I love it because of
Yeah,
the strategic nature of like a long term. I wish we had contracts, to be honest, but I think some people would have short circuited and been like, shut the fuck up. We're not doing that.
yeah,
As we age in dynasty, it's like you need to start
yeah.
either, it's like Draymond for me is like he's going to be the guy that
Ooh,
retires on my team because
ooh.
he's a Spartan,
Yeah,
unless I have to cut him for some reason, which I don't want to, but even then I might have to just to save a young guy that I want to stick in the squad.
yeah. I mean, Lamelo is
Um,
kind of my baby. For some reason,
yeah,
I just love that dude, and he's
yeah,
still young, but he needs to be, for him to really get the value that I kind of drafted him at way back when. He needs to not only be healthy, more often and more dependable, but just like you look at the other high performing, like top notch guards from a fantasy level in a league, he's just not quite on that level yet consistently. So
yeah.
be the other way.
24 years old, man.
Still so
He's
young.
got a
Yeah.
lot of ball in front of him, assuming
But
he
but
stays
now's
healthy.
a lot of ball. I like what you did there. Now's the time. Now's the time for him to be the superstar. So
Totally. It's
maybe
time.
maybe a lot of wings and prayers in my roster, but maybe this is his leap. The season he makes the leap. So
Yeah, I would love to see it. Do
yeah.
you have a lot of hope in Miller?
Yes. Oh, I love Miller. I didn't mention him in my upfront intro just because he was second half, especially he was injured so much last year, but it hurt me a lot when he went down because
Yeah.
he is consistent. He's like, maybe not as much upside as like a ball for me, but he's very
Hmm.
consistent and will just produce. I'm also crossing my fingers that he stays healthy.
I mean, you've got basically prime Mitchell, prime Booker,
Hmm.
and then you got Ball, Miller, Klingon, even
Okay,
Jabari Smith. I'm excited about him.
Jabari and Mikal Bridges are two guys who I think within their team structures last year weren't like set up to really perform from a fantasy standpoint. With Bridges, they just didn't work him into the offense, and then Jabari was
Dibs.
still Jabari was still trying to learn some things, and his playing time
Yeah.
was inconsistent. But I think the Rockets are on a little bit more solid footing with Jabari. I mean, everybody loves him. And from a non-fantasy standpoint, people obviously love Jabari. So I think that will translate to fantasy this season. And then with McHale, a new coach, with was it Mike Brown there now? It's crazy to kind of say
Yeah.
out loud. But I have a feeling that McHale will be involved in the offense. So those two things there, we know about their talent and their ability. So if those guys come around, because last year they were really, from a fantasy standpoint, weren't anything special. So
So really quickly, because we're running short on time. Interesting facts.
mhm.
Not a surprise that you're 8-2 against Benji.
No,
Not a surprise all time that you're 2-7 against Miami, who knocked you out of the playoffs last year.
yeah, they kill me.
Kind of surprising that you're 2-6 against Neil, including the Caleb Porter years, which kind of surprising. And then also kind of surprising, you have two ties, both against Zan, but
Yeah,
you're 5-3-2 against him all time.
yeah. I get
That's a
you.
crazy thing
That's a
because he.
rivalry. That's a
I
rivalry.
know.
I got to get
I know.
up for. You're like, it's like your brother. You get up for him.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
summon all
I figured that was the case. You're giving the guys the pep talk,
yeah,
and you're like checking everyone's health status and setting the lineup multiple times before
yeah,
that game tips off.
locked in. That's a
Um,
crazy stat, though.
two ties too. You're the
Yeah,
two. You've played. Everyone's played about whatever 90 something games, almost 100 games, and two ties all time, and they're both against him. So I thought the odds of that happening are pretty wild. So just to put a button on this, I would say I'm excited if you're going to make some trades, some acquisitions. You have no trades that I could find in the history of the league,
sounds
which goes
about
back
right.
to the loyalty comment.
Well, hey,
But maybe that changes this year. Maybe that doesn't. Seems like people are getting more and more willing to deal some guys,
yeah,
which is cool. So we started the jersey thing that I'd been working on. And so I don't know if you even remember at this point what your team name was going to be, which is the end of the Trust the BBB. The name that I was given
uh-huh.
was the Bay Area Fightin' Mellows.
I love it. Okay.
And because of your Texas connection,
Yeah.
you wanted Houston Oilers colors.
Oh, that's right. Ooh,
So that's what I got for you. I don't know if you can see that or not.
yeah. This is clean. I
Okay.
love it.
So this is just the first of. I'm going to try and do one more for everybody at some point. The colorway is obviously
Yeah.
that Houston Oilers thing, and then the sponsorship on the upper chest there. We got a Jumpman logo and we got Gap, just because you're in. It was a nod to the Bay.
Yeah. Well,
So
I work for the Gap. I don't even know if I was like, whoa, did you?
what?
I work for the Gap.
No,
I do, real estate strategy.
I did
for
not
the
know
Gap.
that. That's
Yeah.
insane. That's
So,
insane. Well, then
dude,
it
this
then
is
it just
great.
makes sense, I guess. But so new brand, new identity, new year, all the new things.
Here, I like it. So the Bay Area, obviously, Mellow, my pride and joy,
Yeah,
Mellow.
yeah, man.
And
Man, he should have been a Detroit Piston. I stand by that. Anyway, well, cool, man. Well, this is great. I mean, I'm happy you came on. Just we'll do this again sometime in the near future. It's going to be cool to see where this roster goes and where you can make noise this coming season.
yeah, I love the team branding. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad
Yeah,
you like it.
great to
All
chat.
right. Thanks, Mante.